Hello, 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 everybody. I hope you're all doing well. We're looking now at Part B of our 2017 Canadian Senior paper. And in Part B, the questions are worth a little more, but you have to actually explain and justify your answers. You have to write things down in the booklets provided. And as they say, a correct solution, poorly presented, will not earn full marks. So we're going to go through question 1 now, and then 2 and 3 are left to go. Part B1 is usually a lot easier than A6 or even A5 in most cases. So definitely if you're getting stuck in the part A of the paper, jump down to part B. Yeah, you have to write, but usually question 1, it's a fairly decent and easier question than at least A6. A6 is pretty hard usually. All right, so we got 3 parts here. We do have to justify our work in each one of them. But look at 1a. Determine all real numbers x for which x squared plus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. So much easier than the last question we did. Just factor it. Okay. That's all we need to do. We got the right thing. So, I mean, you could quadratic formula, or you could just say, can I think of 2 numbers that multiply to negative 8 and add to 2? One of them will have to be positive, the other will have to be negative. Just because you've got a product that's negative. Okay? And the positive one should be bigger because when you added them, they became a positive number. So 4 and 2 work out quite nicely. So x can be either 2 or negative 4. That's it. That's all we had to do, and there we go. That's probably 2-3 marks for us right there. Okay. You know, you can explain it more if you want to, but really you don't have to. 2 and negative 4, there it is. We've shown our work. We showed the factorization. Okay? You don't need to re-explain how people find roots. 1b. Determine the values of b and c for which the parabola with equation x squared plus bx plus c passes through these points. Okay. I know what it means to pass through points. It means that if you take the x value and plug it in, you'll get the y value. Okay. So I'll just explain that. Plugging the x and y coordinates into the formula, we get 2 equations. I'll write them on the next page. Actually, no, we can start here. So what is it? It's y equals x squared plus bx plus c. And what do we pass through? X is 1, y is 2. So 2 is 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c. And what's the other one? 2 is our x coordinate, 0 is the y coordinate. 0 is 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c. All right, let's clean this up. 1 plus b plus c. And then 4 plus 2b plus c. So rearranging. Bring the 1 over to the other side. You see that 1, so 2 minus 1 is b plus c. 0 minus 4, negative 4 is 2b plus c. I'm actually going to rewrite it like this. Okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract these equations. So subtract the second from the first. And so when I subtract equations, I like to line things up. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. 2 b's minus a b is just 1 b. And a c minus a c is nothing. So, oh, look at that. I know what b is. Plug back in to find c. So 1 is b plus c, but c is negative 5, or b is negative 5, so we quickly see c must be 6. Okay? You can leave it as boxes, or if you want to, because I know you tend to, in high school these days, be trained to put a therefore statement. Therefore, b equals negative 5, c equals 6. If you want to, now that you know your b and your c are true, you could go back to this equation and double check. Is 1, 2 on that? Is 2, 0 on this parabola? But, you know, I think we're pretty good. Okay. So now we're down to C part. We're going to finish off B1 here. A ball is thrown from a window at the point 0, 2. The ball flies through the air along the parabola with equation back for some a. And this is true. Balls, when they're tossed up, they do fall in a parabolic shape. You might learn some more of that when you take a physics class, or I always try and mention it when I teach first year calculus, if I can. Okay, that's kind of nice, and you might have already known that. I don't know how much calculus or physics you've seen out there. Anyway, we got this parabola here, and determine the positive real number d for which the ball hits the ground, d0. Okay, so I know a point on this parabola. I know almost everything there is to know about it except a. We should probably use 0, 2 to find a. We'll get a nice clean equation, and then we can factor it like we did in a part. We'll get two roots, maybe e0 over here, and d0, and we'll just take the positive one that they ask for. All right? So we've got a good plan. Let's say, we just got to explain it. 0, 2 is on the parabola. So we know 2, the y-coordinate is a, 0 minus 1 squared plus, I think it was 8/3. Let's just double check. X minus 1 squared. Okay, we're good. So that's really a times negative 1 squared plus 8/3. And negative 1 squared is just 1, so this is 8/3 plus a. I'll change 2 into 6/3. And we can see a is negative 2/3. Okay, put a nice little box around it, nice and clear. We have worked this out. And this also makes sense. If your first coefficient of your parabola is negative, you do get a downward facing parabola. So it fits with the picture. It would be weird if we had worked out a to be something like 4 or a half, something positive. If it's negative, yeah, this is starting to make sense. Okay, so now what have we got? We've got y is negative 2/3 x minus 1 squared plus 8/3. Okay, what are we going to do from here? Well, we could expand this out. X minus 1 all squared is x squared minus 2x plus 1. But you're going to get a lot of thirds fractions in there. So instead, here's another approach. Not that you can't do that. Of course you could, and you would get full marks as long as you were clear about what you did. We know d0 is on the parabola. And we'll just remind ourselves d has to be positive. So why don't we just say, all right, 0 is negative 2/3 d minus 1 squared plus 8/3. And now, bring the 8/3 over to the other side. Multiply both sides by 3. You don't have to write down that that's what you're doing. You can just say, or you can just write down the equations. Divide both sides by negative 2. And now that means if something squared is equal to 4, then you must have squared either 2 or minus 2. Another way we could write that is 2 or minus 2. And if I add 1 to both of those, d is 3 or minus 1. But, and we just said this a moment ago, d is positive. So d must be 3. And we could even check if we wanted to, back in this original equation, 3 minus 1 is 2, squared would be 4, negative 2 times 4 would be negative 8, negative 8/3 plus 8/3 is 0. Okay, so it really does work, and we got a positive d value, so we are happy. Okay, and that was B1, certainly a lot easier than some of the later A part questions, so watch out, just because it's writing doesn't mean it needs to be hard. That's all the sort of work you would need to show. Okay, so on we move to B2, and give it a try if you haven't already, and I'll see you for B2 next time. Take care and have a wonderful day.